All right, Mary Penhall is on with us too. All right. Okay, as always, let's call the meeting to order. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance and the moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. We do have an agenda in front of us, including the consent agenda. We have 3 options or 3 motions that need to be made for the consent agenda. Other than that, anybody have anything we need to add to the regular agenda?
Might be a short discussion on the bond council.
All right. Would that be under financial advisors contract, or we want to put that as like D? D as bond counsel? MJ, you got anything with that?
So on item 9 for new business, we still don't have, we haven't gotten quotes, enough quotes to go over that yet.
What?
So we're not really in a position to talk about that.
Oh. That's one. We'll leave it on there. We'll just say it again when we get there. All right. What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the agenda as amended. Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right. Before we get going too far, we have 3 options. Yeah, 3 options to view this meeting. And it seems ironic that we're saying this because all you people must be on there anyway. You got https global.global.go-to-meetings.com/join/6817131109. You have option 2, which is the dial-up, which takes you to go to the meetings. It's 1-872-240-3212 with an access code of 681-713-109#. And then there's 2 Vimeo links, which is https://vimeo.com/407147149. And then the one at 545 is the vimeo.com/407149157.
I'm getting text that people are able to connect on option 1, but there's no video, just audio.
Well, depends on whether they're on a good internet connection also.
Depends on the internet.
Can you see us, Livingston?
Yes.
Anybody on the phone with us, can y'all see us or not? Yeah. You can see us though? But you can't see the boardroom. All right, very, very good. You can see just the light. The camera's pointing up too high, Livingston. It needs to be pointed down. Sorry, folks, I apologize. No, where's your camera? What's this thing, Livingston?
But I'm just going to show us.
That's it. I mean, it's pointing right above the edge of the chairs there. So that's,
All right.
it should be good. I mean, it's pointing right at you.
You can see us?
Yes.
All right, well, we don't know what's going on. As long as you can hear us, we're not that good looking. It'll be okay. All right. We do have a consent agenda. The there's 3 items that we need to go through on this. We need to do March 10th minutes from March 10th, 2020, which are minutes Ms. Foster was absent from. Anybody have any corrections, thoughts, comments?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the minutes from the March 10th meeting.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. And Ms. Foster abstains. The second one we need to do, where everybody is present, was March 26th, 2020. The minutes from,
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the minutes from March 26th.
Second.
all right, motion's made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Number 3 is pretty much the rest of the agenda, of the consent agenda.
Yeah,
That's Dudley Patty, reappointment to the IDA for 4 years. Steve Grayson, same. Jerry Butler to social services. If everybody on this conference call can put their phone on mute, that would help. It's Sarah Berry to Germanna Community College Board. It's the approval of the refunding resolution. It's the approval of resolution 20-10, which is the appropriate the monies from FY20 capital budget. It's the approval of the supplemental appropriation 20-40, which is the Moore Building lease purchase agreement. It's the approval of supplement 20-41, which is the Rapidan Blueway funding study. Supplemental 20-42, which is to authorize the purchase of 4 new vehicles for the sheriff's office out of this year's funds. 20-43 is the school bus. 20-44 is the sheriff's department training funds. And
Are you muted? I'm sorry.
What?
So everybody's got to be muted in here.
I'm muted. It's somebody on the line that's not muted.
Sorry.
Good. Oh, that's worse. Cardi, you just mute? Yeah, Cardi's on.
Mr. Chairman,
Hold on, we got one more. It's 20-40, sorry. 20-40 Sheriff Department training funds and reimbursement funds. Please.
I would like to pull 1D out for discussion.
There you go. All right, what about the rest of them, excluding the?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve the consent agenda as stated, less item D.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Cardi, why don't you go ahead and talk about item D?
All right, so the administration building consolidation, in my mind, is something that I feel like we're going to have to put on the list for possibly, kicking it down the road a little bit. So I'm unclear as to what this resolution committed us to. I mean, the way I read it, it committed us to moving forward with the admin building consolidation, and I'm not ready to do that right now. So I just wanted to ask Mr. Hobbs, is this resolution committing us to that project?
No, sir, it's actually the opposite. It keeps the county's options open for reimbursement of monies that get spent prior to borrowing money.
Should we?
It's an IRS regulation that says that the board needs to acknowledge that we intend to, at this point, intend to fund the project with borrowed monies. And this would be exercised out of Ron Rose and the financial advisors at some point to say, yes, they intended to finance the project and eligible for reimbursement, which is not required.
Okay, all right.
So this is it injects flexibility, it does not restrict.
All right, thank you. I was just unclear, so.
It doesn't obligate us to inject this job. That makes sense?
Yeah.
You have any questions on that one? You want to proceed to vote on this? Let's vote.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve resolution 2020-11. Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right. Public comment. Anybody got any public comment? No. What's the problem with our, what's the problem?
They're saying now the audio's gone.
I mean, I can't hear anything, Livingston.
Audio just went.
You got that phone muted?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to unmute your phone. Let me hear.
All right, can y'all hear me? Sorry for the technical difficulty here. All right, Cardi, say something down there. Tell me if they can hear, if you can hear them.
Can everybody hear me? All right?
Can y'all hear Cardi? No. All right, hold on.
That's the first.
We're gonna pause for a minute and try something different here. Are you on mute, Cardi?
All right.
240 32
People said you can hear them on the video.
That's the good meeting.
Well, a lot of the ones on video are texting saying.
Do I have
they're
to
seeing
push some kind of
lights.
button to get this thing to dial out?
9.
Got down 9.
Now we know.
This is what everybody's seeing.
1872
Sorry, what you trying to
240.
The hack back there?
I'm sorry?
What they look against,
Oh, that's what they're looking at.
3212.
this is what everybody's seeing. I'm looking here.
Or do they have cameras?
681.
You don't have a
Hidden cameras.
Video has that.
Please enter your audio PIN followed by the pound or hash sign. If you do not have a PIN, just try.
All right. Can everybody hear?
Yeah.
Kevin, say something up there.
This is Kevin.
You hear Kevin?
Okay, so people connected on a demo is perfectly clear. People connected on the.
Right.
Oh.
Clear.
Go.
The go meeting is the problem.
Right.
Bear with us. We'll be there in just a moment. Just give us just a second. Let's get everybody. Which ones? The ones on the budget? Budget we're going to do, like, we'll do in the budget here. That 3 letters.
Right.
All right, can everybody see us? We're looking at the screen right now, and it looks like we're all present.
Roger, turn on the slides and
It is delayed. It's about a 20-second delay.
Cool.
That's just because he's connected, or Hobbs is connected to it. There's got to be masters somewhere. All right, we're going to proceed here. This is hard. Let's start with instead of going with constitutional officers, let's start with John Shearer. He's gonna give us a quick update on what we've done with the county as far as COVID-19.
Okay, so currently, every day I say I'm in contact with the Virginia Department of Health and the Virginia Department of Emergency Management. And we're constantly getting guidance from them. The guidance does change almost every day. Everybody's kind of keeping up with the numbers. I would say that the numbers right now, officially we have 7 in our county. One particular case that we have is one of our long-term care facilities. That is a big deal. We've all looked at the issues down in Richmond, and Noah and I are constantly talking about making plans about what ifs. So our PPE, our personal protective equipment, is up to date. We have a good stock, although every day as we use it, I report that to the state and in hopes to get that restocked as we need it. They're keeping track of it every day. So that's something that I'm doing every day. There's just a lot of planning because everything is changing, everything is fluid. We get guidance one day at about 10 feet, then it's 6 feet, and you just don't know enough about this situation. It's only been in our country for 3 months. So we've gone over first responder protocols. We continually update and educate our people as to what they need to know. Noah has an infectious control officer. He's doing his job, just trying to keep up with what we need to be doing. Other than that, if there's questions that I can answer for you, like I said, it's constantly evolving. I'm constantly in contact with VDH people, learning on what we need to be doing. And according to them, we are doing everything that we need to do. So that's where I'm at with that. I can answer
Do you have any questions for John on this?
They say our biggest problem right now, and we even talked about this earlier, was the majority of people that get this will recover. But if you have immune deficiency or elderly situation, now it's just a total different ballgame, and we realize that. And now we do have it in one of our long-term facilities.
I've been talking to John on a daily basis. John, Noah, everybody that's involved, EMS, fire, they're just doing an exceptional job, just exceptional. Roger's got stuff ordered constantly, and couldn't say that.
We're constantly trying to get supplies. They're hard to get. I'm going right down the Virginia Department of Emergency Management guidelines, trying to keep up with what they want us to do so that we can get our stuff as we need.
But John, is there a lot of overtime being worked by your shop, Noah's shop, Sheriff's Department because of this?
I don't think a great deal of overtime. I really don't. But subject to change. I've been putting in extra hours. I can tell you that. I don't know, what the definition of a great deal of overtime is, but I have been putting in quite a few hours, just trying to keep up with things and not trying to miss anything. Also, there's a bunch of different models out there of where this thing is going. You can almost shop and find, whatever you'd like. The current one is latter part of this month, early part of next month, but there's other models out there that say even longer. It's a crystal ball. I really don't think, the translation that I get, or at least what I interpret from all the different models is we don't know. So that's really where we're at. So we're adjusting on the fly.
Thanks.
Anybody else have questions for John? Thank you very much. Noah, you have anything to add?
I just appreciate the teamwork. We're doing it together and doing the best we can.
Brian? Just trying to stay afloat. Very good. We go to constitutional officers. We know Ms. Murray's on here. Ms. Murray, you have anything to report?
Just waiting to hear what happens tonight and public hearing.
Very good. We're all excited. Clarissa says that her office is open. All right. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Anybody have any questions for Mrs. Murray? All right.
The office is open. I mean, not for parking, I'm working from home. But things are moving along and it's down. It's the best that it can at this point.
Yes, ma'am.
Waiting to hear the person, the tax rate, and all that information. So after that, then we can get on.
Very good. All right. Clarissa says that her office is open. They're working in staggered shift as much as possible and are still appearing in court as required. Sheriff or Terry, y'all have anything to report?
We are working a lot of overtime, and we are responding to a lot more for all the departments refusing to respond to.
Assume that since the Shenandoah National Park is closed, that some of that staffing up there will cut down on some overtime.
We're still doing small weekends, people are still coming in. Parks every weekend.
All right. No, thank you, Sheriff. Brian Daniel says there's nothing to report. Barry, what do you have from the schools?
Well, I think that, obviously the big challenge for us is, trying to continue to educate our kids with school books down. We've got this one long, window and, packets that going out or the process of going out to all of our students and our teachers work really hard to come up with things, for them to keep learning while they're at home. The webinar with the Supervisor of Public Education, and of course we're profoundly limited, not covering new material, not grading, so students grade pros and the third quarter. We knew from the state that the waiver of SOL requirements, as well as students can pass in class and they don't have to pass SOL. We're continuing, over 500 people every Tuesday, getting out a couple days worth of meals every Tuesday, very well. Trying to follow the advice of our students, stay in constant communication remotely with the school board and the superintendent. We also had a very successful remote meeting April 1st where parents could listen in and hear about one of our plans, how we're proceeding. You may have seen the video that we posted for our students. Thank you very much. So they came out of Lebanon Association, I've been a part of webinars with both of our senators and the governor this morning. There's with the federal legislation, it's sending a lot of dollars our way, $238.6 million for K-12 education. Then there's a $66 million emergency education fund. Interesting thing is, the governor said this morning in the webinar with us that he has no metric at this point for how we'll be distributing that money. So obviously, we're going to be involved in all the ways that we can to see that money that's coming to us, the federal government, is spent in a useful way. One of the things that both our senators and the governor, and I think everybody is talking about in education, is the lack of equitable broadband access. All my colleagues in higher education have gone to totally online education, and we can't do that. because not all of our students have access to the internet. And I think a lot of folks are hopeful that out of this crisis, what will come is a realization in this modern world, not just related to education, but healthcare, meetings like this. If you don't have internet access, you can't participate equally as a student, as a citizen, and hopefully that will be better addressed in the upcoming years. There's one more thing from the governor this morning. He said that his plan at this point is to reopen schools in the fall on schedule, but much of that depends upon the availability of testing so that we can actually know who's sick and who's spreading the disease. But at least at this point, the plan is to reopen schools in the fall.
All right, anybody have a question for Barry with the schools? Barry, thank you.
You want to hear?
It sounds like you got a lot of stuff going on. Hopefully the governor's got some more people working on giving us some money. Anybody?
Yeah, hey Barry, this is Cardi. Did the governor say anything about the teacher raises that he has talked about cutting? Did he? Are they reversing that now that they're getting money from the feds?
Barry, did you hear that? Barry's still on there.
I think they came here.
Barry, can you hear me?
I am now.
Oh, there you go, hot dog. Well, good. Cardi asked if the governor had mentioned anything about the teacher raises, the 2%, especially now that the feds are kicking in some money. You did a better job articulating.
Right. He didn't specifically address that in terms of the budget. All he said was, at this point, everything's frozen. So, any increases are frozen. So I would assume he mentioned the extra school counselors that's in the budget. But I would assume this would also apply to the raises. Because until we see completely what we're getting from the feds, and until we see what the actual revenue situation for the state is going to be, that everything's frozen.
Thank you, Barry. All right, moving on. Anybody else, county departments or constitutional officers have anything to say that's on the line with us? Roger, you have anything going on back there? All right, John Shearer.
Yeah, I would add, he noted that he was feeding 500 folks a week there. I stopped by Mesa today, and they're really in good shape. The outpouring of support from the community, there is a pile of food in there and supplies, so I just stopped by there.
All right, everybody hear John Shearer? Said that Mesa's, the schools are feeding about 500 people, and I think they're putting out, what, 14 meals?
Something that, I was saying, their supplies in Mesa, they're in good shape.
And Mesa is doing well as well. All right, moving on.
Mr. Chairman,
Please.
brief point of order.
One.
Was there any public comment?
No. Anybody have any public comment? We can do this again. We're doing real well with this technology thing. Just unmute yourself and speak up, tell us who you are. We'll take it pretty much any time. No public comment. Moving on.
Explain.
Yes, Ralph Figures.
I'm just online here checking to see how this thing is working. The only issue that I see as far as comments, sometimes it's very here what people are saying.
We'll all try to speak louder. And we'll try to speak louder. Thank you very much, Mike. All right, everybody hear that? Speak real loud.
So we give mics to the people who speak?
No, I think it's us.
Turn around that speaker. I turned them around, but we're gonna yell at ourselves today. Make it out of order. All right, boys.
So Mike is on GoToMeeting, so whatever our feed is on GoToMeeting, it's that or if that's then.
What is this right here?
It's VMO.
Okay, so that may make the difference for Mike. I don't know.
This phone.
It may be Bruce's machine back in the corner that's what's feeding GoToMeeting. I don't know.
This phone here is unmuted, so if you speak loud, kind of direct your comment at the phone. Then maybe we can take them. All right, we're moving out of this. Ms. Hobbs, you have anything to report as far as county administrator stuff?
Except that we've been putting an awful lot of time into the COVID-19 pandemic and trying to stay abreast of that, but it's going to keep changing, which I reported that earlier. County business is down, and we found that we have no rezoning applications this month, and Gregg told me we have new cats at the animal shelter, so those are, I guess, anecdotal indicators, but traffic in the town is going down. Just so you know that. We also deal with meeting disruption because all our boards and committees are known about that's the situation. I would anticipate coming out of that next month or two, that's going to be like some of those bodies can be.
Very good, Bob. Do we have any questions for Hobbs? All right, moving on. We do have some old business. We have Mr. Gordon's going to tell us about the public safety radio project consulting contract. Mr. Gordon?
Yes, sir. This has been in the works for since December, actually. What this is, we've had to go out and get cooperative procurement for Mission Critical, who bought Black and Beach, who had been consulting with us through phase 1 and phase 2. Mission Critical did produce a contract. This is a cooperative procurement contract through Houston Galveston Area Council. The contract is HP 10-17. It was amended in February of last year. The contract pretty much is a consultant contract that works with us for the next 24 months. It is a cooperative contract with Greene County. They have their own contract, we have our own, but it's working together to save money in the long run. It works over 24 months. Our share of the contract is $197, $373 and 56 cents. Greene County is the exact same. We will share hours where applicable. There are some hours that are assigned directly to us, some hours are assigned directly to them, obviously for infrastructure, building, and so on and so forth. But a good number of that is shared out between the two of us. It is scheduled for 24 months, which mirrors the Motorola Solutions contract. Obviously, that's subject to change if they get delayed, which I'm starting to see a lot of delays on my other project, the Next Gen project, with pushing things out. With COVID-19, for supply trains, for travel trains, hotel stays, it's affecting everything. So there are going to be delays. The quicker we get through this, obviously that will mediate itself. Mission Critical will bill us on hours worked, meaning if they work 20 hours this year, that's what they bill us for. If they work 150 hours next year, they'll bill us for that. So this will be stretched out over the entire 24-month period. We will not owe them the $197,000 right out the gate. With the contract, we'll get 48 hours from the senior project manager, 448 hours from the senior technology specialist, who is an electrical and radio engineer, and then the planner will have 1,608 hours. Now that's combined hours between the two counties. That's not just our portion of it. But those are a lot of hours that we're getting for this, and a lot of expertise that not only in the system that we're building, but our situation as a whole, because they've been with us for the last 3 years. In that contract, they'll oversee the work's being done and make sure it's being done for county standards, general project support, baseline cover performance, review implementation plan, the CDR, which is the design, the final design of the radio system, schedule development, monitoring finalization of frequency plan, equipment inventory, factory staging, optimization inspection, acceptance testing, and all the way down to invoice audit approval, change order management, and project meeting participation. So they're going to have their hands in just about everything we do as far as this radio project is concerned. I think it's a good idea to bring them on board, especially because their expertise on our situation and the system they're running. I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have.
Do we have questions for Brian on this?
Yeah, I have a quick one. I think it's necessary too. So I'm going to support it. I'm curious. I sifted through some of the contract and some of the, the itemized costs that they were anticipating. I'm lucky enough with the day job to have accountants that will check things, specifics like that. For instance, I noticed their per diem rates were a little high. But normally I don't ever pay attention to that because somebody else catches it. I mean, do we have somebody check? Will we check things like that, or is that something that just we agree to this and that's what it is?
Right, theirs is a guesstimation. They run off the federal travel rates.
Right.
So that's what they run that off of. Now, per diem, the food and the hotel stays and all that is a guesstimation. We will not be billed for that amount here. It will be billed whatever they pay for a hotel room or a meal here or there. So this is more of an allowance than it is an actual thing. And when they bill us, if I have a question on something like, if they drop $600 on a hotel room night, I'm gonna have an issue.
Okay.
And same thing goes if they spend $200 on meat.
So essentially what this is a do not exceed.
Exactly right.
Is there language in that, Gregg, that states that it will not exceed $197,373?
Yes, section 6.1.
There you go. Good. Perfect. That's what we're looking for.
Thank you, Sean.
Other questions? It's about $8,223 a month.
Well, I'd just like to say that the federal per diem rate does have lodging and meals in there. So if they start billing us for more than what those requirements are,
I'll certainly monitor that as they bill us to make sure that they're not,
Brian is our checks and balances.
They
were qualified. I mean, good guy.
I'm a lot happier to be sitting here than I was.
Well, we're
happy.
How do y'all want to proceed, Justin? We have a motion in front of us.
Mr. Chairman, I move to authorize the chairman to execute the proposed contract with Mission Critical Partners for consulting services related to the public safety radio project.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next. There we go. Next. Mr. Hobbs, tell us about the County Administration Center renovation project space study.
You're aware that the county hired an architect to study the renovation of this building and the old health department building. This culminated recently with a online presentation the architects gave on September 24th. I think several of y'all were on that call. So what you have in front of you are 4 different options for floor plans for the renovations. And that's the stopping point that the architects are making. They need to get some feedback from you before they can proceed to the next phase of their design. With the board not able to meet, and it would be inappropriate to have a lot of folks in the room to talk about this, we have a little survey of the county staff to get feedback on which option they proposed and so forth. So 12 of the 16 folks we have asked about this responded. The consensus choice seems to be Proposal 2, and all this is in the package. One question that needs to be resolved is the impact on the free clinic, because we do occupy space in the old health department building. Option 2 is not going to stay in the health department. So we need to get feedback from the board on this before the project can move forward. So it's comes down to which option to pursue, how do we deal with the free clinic, and then there's an issue about what to do with this room in terms of how far to go with renovation. One of the ideas was that the level floor in this space might make the space much more usable. So, that,
Which option did you like?
I got this for option two.
My concern is with the renovation of this room. I understand we need, lighting and all of those upgrades, but $55,000 to $75,000 worth of additional money to convert this room into a multi-use. I don't support that.
Cardi, you have comments on this?
Well, yeah, later on, when we start looking at the budget, I made a list of items that I feel like should be discussed among the board, considering our current situation. And this was one of the items I have listed on there. I understand, we're talking about $1.1 million to do this project. Of course, we don't pay that in 1 year. I would like to know a couple of things. If we're going to take this consolidation, the primary school and the radio project, and we roll them all into one big debt vehicle, if adding this to that debt vehicle results in another $40,000 or whatever in debt load for a year, well, that's reasonable. Or should we wait on this one and then we would have to acquire another debt vehicle next year if we pushed it out a year? But this is, that's one of about 8 things I've made a list on to consider during the budget process. I'd like to know, and I guess that would be after the Davenport discussion, where we stand with what our debt load would be with this and without this. Weigh that.
So, Davenport.
What's that?
In terms of the budget,
Speak loud.
in terms of the budget, right now, that expenditure is shown in the capital budget as debt financed. But there's no requirement, there's no harm in meeting it in the budget, because there's no impact on fund balance. You're showing debt proceeds to pay for the project. If you decide not to do it, you don't need to take it out from the budget. It's up to you. You can just choose not to appropriate it.
Right.
So that shouldn't hold up. You can take it out if you want, but it shouldn't hold up. Whatever Davenport comes up with, shouldn't hold up you adopting the budget.
Right. Well, in my searching over the last couple of weeks, we advertised a 2-cent increase in real estate taxes. So that's $340,000. In my mind, I am combing through everything, trying to find $340,000.
But the administration project is not using, the budget does not assume any use of fund balance in FY21.
Well, if we borrow money in August, we're going to have to pay on that debt, right? And if you add $1.1 million to the debt, then your debt payment must go up.
So the thinking being that there was going to be a debt service bureau that would cover increases in debt for about 2 years until the smaller school loans pay off next year. Then you have another $200,000 to come into the budget. One of the current uses of debt.
Okay. Well, I'm just, it's one thing on my list that I would like to
if we delay this, then obviously we would need a different funding mechanism to pay for that. Right now, with Davenport, we've got a $9 million school project, we've got a $5.6 million radio project, and then tack another $1 million onto it. So I mean, you're talking $15 million. What's the debt payment per year on this? All right, great. Davenport, so subtract, divide it out.
Yeah.
The way it would seriously look though is that unfortunately, even though we've been planning this for 35 years now, it looks like this is low hanging fruit and something that we probably should think hard about.
Yeah, if and when we get there.
I'd love to see it happen.
Oh, me too.
I know it's been kicked around for 30 years now at least, but I have to agree with Cardi. I don't know, maybe we should delay it just a little bit.
We can go, the only side about it is that we can go ahead and we can get plans in hand.
Yeah,
Which wouldn't financially hurt us so bad. And then we've got the plans, and once we own the plans, we can proceed with the construction and renovation at whatever point. By going with option 2 and getting plans put together, like formalized plans that are ready to go out to bid, what is the monetary impact of that?
We are a contract with Police House on the order of $800,000. Committed to that. So the next, the way it was set up, remember, the next stopping point is when the design, final design is in hand and we're ready for the bid, which is the summer. So obviously we will proceed to go bid, let's pay with that. And then of course, when you don't know what the actual number is until you get the bid.
Look at the school budget, how lucky we got with that. If we're already obligated with, what's the name of this group?
The architect.
Yeah, what's thank you, the architects from Rapidan. Thank you. If we're already going to be on that path, is option 2 what the board wants to proceed with to get formalized drawings?
I liked it.
I mean, the only comment I'll make, sort of echo, I think what Amber just said. I mean, this room, for goodness sakes, is kind of embarrassing. You can use some work.
We're working up.
And I'd love to see something done about it, but I agree with her that I don't know that it needs to be converted to a multi-purpose room. And what we do with it is the right thing to do with it, I think. If anything, the conference room that we've got, or this option 2 plans down the hall, if there's any way to eke out a little more space in that, maybe take it from voter registration or something like that. That would be the only thing I would ask the architects if they could do and save maybe the need for having this multi-purpose room here.
What do you all think about that? Let's see, good suggestion. Let's see if we can get the architects to throw a little more space, take away from the voter registrar. There you go. So is the consensus at this point, and we probably need a motion to proceed with option 2 on this? And what do y'all want to do? I mean, 50 to 75K from this space, which does leave a little bit to be desired.
Replace ceiling tiles.
Ceiling tiles.
No, and I think they have in there, they would do the lighting and the sound and all of it. That has nothing to do with the 65,000. This was just for the leveling of the floor. And that's.
It would be nice, but we can accomplish that with a larger conference room. Make the same argument that we made when talking about the schools. Is we want a regular school. We don't want a spaceship. It's a simple room, kind of simple, so this works out pretty well. We can always do this better.
I've been in your barn, Clay.
Yeah,
That would be nice.
Yes, that's.
No. But option 2, you all want to proceed with that. Then we'll do some drawings. Then we at least have it in hand. And I would assume that we're going to have some more conversations with that before. So,
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move that we ask the architects to move forward with design plans for option 2 with some consideration to expanding the conference room we have down there.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And just to clarify one more time, this does not obligate in any way us to proceed with spending $1 million to do all this project. All right, next. Yes, sir.
If the board is okay with it, I'd like to, at least semi-formally, if we can, I notice that this is a play, and encourage them to find more other space, understanding that the board may or may not approve this project, because that would be a sticking point. And then when we get to the point where we go bid, in the 90-day clause. So just want to ask them to start looking for space if they're not on that already.
What kind of timeline do we want to put on a soft thing? We've gotten letters from Ms. Clement. We understand this is a disruption of their services and everything. What about if we were to say something softly, and this won't be the final letter, but try to get out by October? And that kind of pushes us by all projections, hopefully past all this COVID stuff, or a substantial portion of it. They can continue to cater to the clientele that they have, sometime in October.
About 6 months.
That's very reasonable. That seems reasonable. Yeah, so the end of September, 1st October,
Just do a more notice,
I would
or
just,
because my concept is that we could point the phone notice for another few months, and still need to be kind of get it planned.
Maybe just an update.
I think it's a soft notice, but that's the time frame that we're looking at if we proceed with it. And if we delay it, then we change a little bit different. So let's give them something realistic. And if we're good, we understand their value part of the community, but we're doing a renovation in the process for a long time, potentially. It's time. Anything else on this?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, next. Mr. Gregg.
Yes, sir.
Not Brian. Emergency and electronic feeding procedures.
Okay, this area remains pretty fluid. The governor, there is an amendment to the state budget, which might make some of what I have done here moot. But in any event, what you will see in your packet, I believe on page 148, goes through what we would need to do with regard to the national emergency. The idea is this would enable us to meet electronically whenever necessary. I believe it would be appropriate for the board to pass this amendment to the bylaws of the Madison County Board of Supervisors. The idea being that if something comes up again, we are not kind of hamstrung a little bit procedurally. Also following that, on page 150 of your packet, you will see information with regard to the fact that we need a formal declaration that will be conducting the meeting electronically. The chairman would simply announce that Madison County is under a state of emergency as declared by the governor, and some other things, and then you can read the rest of it. And then at the end, there would be a vote, and while it would be electronic, make notes as to what was in fact discussed.
But we wouldn't have to do the page 150, your motion to declare an emergency electronic meeting protocol. We wouldn't need that until we were called.
That's correct. That's correct.
But so initially, all we have to do is amend have this motion that I assume you put together.
Correct.
To amend our bylaws.
We're adding a tool to the toolbox.
Yes, sir. I see this as Very simple.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move to amend their bylaws and rules of procedure to include section 2.4.e to read, during times of local, state, and national emergency, the board may conduct its meetings through electronic communication. When meeting in person is unsafe or impractical in compliance with Virginia Code 2.2-3708.2.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Then none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right.
The next item you will see from me, and this begins on page 152. Well, I'm sorry, it actually begins on 151, but the motion is on page 152. This is the event that members of the Board of Supervisors are not available to appear in person. This is a vehicle, and it's approved by the Virginia Code, that we could, in fact, need, provided certain requirements are met. It would have to be either a temporary or permanent disability or a medical condition that prevents personal attendance, or a personal matter. Something kind of peculiar in the Virginia statute about it is you have to give some detail as to what the personal matter is, which might be uncomfortable for people, in which case, just show up at the meeting.
Is this the way that the school board did it when Barry was out getting his, chemical plates, I guess?
In all likelihood, yes.
All right.
And remember, this one, section 2.4.f is not required by anything that is currently happening. What this would cover in the current climate, though, is if a member of the Board of Supervisors felt uncomfortable attending a meeting for whatever reason, it would give them a means of doing that. Now, there is a limitation in the Virginia State Code. A member of the board can rely on this for the electronic meeting twice per year. No further than that without any additional leave.
We all think about that. That's a good thing to have.
Again, it's another tool in the toolkit. The one concern I would have, and this is, you are all, subject to re-election. If the public perceives that people are deciding they don't want to appear for a noise ordinance, vote in person or something like that, you do run the risk of people questioning why you aren't doing that. The code does provide, that it is only available twice a year. The other argument against that, though, is in the interest of full disclosure, is, if you're on the board, there is a certain expectation to attend personally. But I defer that to your collective wisdom in terms of that purpose.
Good public shaming if you pop out and don't show up. And I would certainly hope that the citizens would take care of that. If you've got viable medical issues or unexpected family loss or something of that nature, it's appropriate. It does give you the tools. And it lets you participate in the meeting when you're down and out. That's pretty good. We need to add a motion on this one to the
I believe. Yes, I think, we would, I apologize, we would need, we would need a motion for that. I have not prepared it. Thought that I had it there. The form of it would be to amend the Madison County bylaws to add the following provision under 2.4.f. Madison Board of Supervisors requested electronic meetings. The Madison County Board of Supervisors may conduct any meeting in which public business is discussed or transacted through electronic communications if on or before the day of the meeting, a member of the Board of Supervisors notifies the chair of the board that they are unable to attend the meeting for any of the following reasons. A, due to a temporary or permanent disability or other medical condition that prevents that member's personal attendance, or B, that the member is unable to attend the meeting due to a personal matter and the member provides a description of the specific nature of the personal matter to the chair. No member of the Board of Supervisors shall be entitled to rely on this provision more than twice in any calendar year. And if the chairman of the board approves the electronic participation set forth in this section, the board shall record in its minutes the fact that a member participated remotely through electronic communications and specify the remote location from which the absentee member participated electronically. The board shall also state in its minutes the reasons in 2.4.f the absentee member participated remotely.
I hope y'all get notes. This sounds like a complicated motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Further discussion?
And for purposes of clarity, it is everything from 2.4.f to the bottom and then to the top on page 153. And again, I apologize for that.
Thank you for that, motion made, seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All right.
And that is all I have on those two matters.
Yeah, anybody else got any other old business? Let's move to new business. EMS random drug testing policy, Ms. Hillstrom.
Yeah, so this is a draft working document. Each license agency for a code has to have a drug and substance abuse policy. We've adopted the county policy. We're a 24-hour shop though. We have to be able to have a policy that we're through. Hopefully that won't be a problem. We need to have it down on paper. So I've worked through, we deal with controlled substances. There is documented cases of EMS providers diverted, et cetera. And that's where the random drug testing comes into play. I've reached out to Sean Gregg. He feels this is a good, early March, a good policy to adopt. And using UVA working with Charlottesville to accomplish not just the testing, but the physical, et cetera. This idea behind it.
Really? Sean Gregg.
Very briefly on this, there are some Fourth Amendment concerns with regard to unlawful searches and seizures. One exception that is made for that in terms of random drug testing is people whose jobs basically put the public at risk if they are impaired. We're also allowed to test in the event of any accident or anything like this. I have taken the liberty of looking at policies in several neighboring counties in the state and actually statewide. What I hope to do probably by your next meeting is present what might be appropriate protocols, certainly for EMS and probably for the entire county government so that we can proceed on these. I mean, a lot of the issue, obviously with EMS is, they have access to, controlled substances, and they're also transporting people. So that's why you are allowed to do much more in terms of testing with those and other people. The more challenging part is how do we apply this county-wide? And typically there has to have been an incident or a suspicion before you can do that. We just need to be very careful that we're not violating anybody's personal liberties whenever we do the testing. And again, I hope to have a memorandum before you vote for the next meeting.
Would there be two sections of this? One for public safety, and I would think that would go for notice shop, John shop, and dispatcher currently. And then a secondary one that would pertain to prior to employment, and then different incidents of, thank you, or an accident that was happening in the job, in the workplace. So there would be two different classes of this, what we're doing.
That is what I am anticipating. Another issue that comes up is whether people are operating county-owned vehicles. If anybody takes their vehicle home, that adds another area of concern.
You all think? Seems reasonable.
All right, so my one question, we were discussing whether the staff, the board is supportive of this policy. We're talking about this policy for the EMS specifically right now? Or we talking about?
The way I view it, it's not just for EMS. It's EMS, it would apply, if you did it correctly, it wouldn't just be an EMS deal, it would be EMS, John Shear's shop, which is emergency dispatch, or emergency management, and then dispatch, because all of those pertain to public safety. But then hopefully we can implement something into the whole package that would cover the other side.
I believe we can. It would be kind of an enhancement. What I'm anticipating is a general policy, and the real issue is the testing. And what most counties have gone to with regard to random testing, they call them the people who are in safety-sensitive positions. That term comes up fairly often, and those are the people who can be tested randomly. That begs the question, what does random testing look like? You know, how random is random? And we would have to develop some protocols so that we have some of that.
Has anyone talked to the sheriff? Because he has a program that's implemented currently for the random drug testing to see how he conducts them.
I have not spoken to the
I
sheriff.
hate to broaden this thing out, but if we're going down this path,
Just see.
we might as well just do this and be done. It shouldn't just be specific to Noah's shop. It also should pertain to these other 3 shops. And then we should implement something that just brings up the council. Please.
Perhaps language to be specific, but in personal policy, we get not because certain content goes to case of suspicion and so on. So we have something that covered already. I think the issue is that there's a lot to go through when it comes to civil rights and what's appropriate, what we already have in books now, and all that. If we wanted to essentially put forward advice on this before, put a lot of effort into sort of down this. So the last thing we want to do is to do all this homework and then the board says no. This is how we're.
Well, the thing I noticed, Jack, is that this document that's in our packet right here is looking like Noah felt like it was incumbent upon him and his department to adopt this. But if we do this countywide, then this document is not necessary for you.
Yeah, just as long as we incorporate the time. We're 24/7, 365.
See, you know what I mean? This document right here is just.
This needs to go in the personnel policy.
Okay.
It needs to not just be for his shop, it needs to be for everybody that's that lives depend on it.
So we should thank Noah for writing this to put in there.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got it.
24/7 thing also applies.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm in favor.
Everybody good on this? Everybody got reservations? Don Gregg, Mr. Hobbs, you want to come up with something for?
I think we got what we need.
Yeah, I think we have a good start. I'll reach out to the sheriff and find out what their policy is, where they're working. So.
Good with this, Ron, John, that's the way we go. Now we got good both sides. All right, that gives us some direction. Sure. Noah, back to you. EMS ambulance purchase.
Yeah, so for the past couple of months, we've been discussing the purchase of a third ambulance.
Speak real loud, they can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No. Take MJ, take one of these microphones. You got a whole slew of them up here. Just speak real loud and hopefully they'll be able to hear you.
All right, if this isn't loud enough, just let me know and I'll really hoop and holler.
All right.
Long story short, there's a supply issue, as Brian identified, and we're trying to stay ahead of the game with making sure we have safe ambulances in the county. In talking to Pencare, our vendor, there's Ford has stopped chassis building. They're making ventilators, and as soon as the crisis is maybe not completely done, but they're going back to production, emergency vehicles will be a priority, and it's of essence to get on that list. Because there's also a supply chain issue with the ambulance box. So whatever supplies that Ron has, that's who builds the back of the ambulance. That's what's going to be used up first. A lot of these come from China and overseas, and it's a little bit of a guess, but we're trying to be proactive and not extend it any further than there's talks of FY22.
When will we be billed for them?
Next budget, so FY21, right?
So if you place an order for a vehicle before the end of the year, yes, well, you would at least probably have to encumber funds this year. So you can have some charge against that. It wouldn't be.
Big loud, they can't hear you then.
So
Sorry.
it wouldn't be. It would be out of fund balance rather than charges. There's no way you could take delivery.
Correct, no, so the ambulance will definitely not be available. And payment would be due late summer, so July, August. We don't pay anything until the ambulance is here.
MJ,
No, I mean, as long, my preference would be not, it's already in the FY21 budget. My preference would be not to see you charge it against the FY21 budget. You don't have enough, you have to now fund balance. You don't have enough money left in the budget. It's up to you.
Yeah, so $211 for the ambulance. The outfit, so stretcher, all the extra toys, 0% from Stryker for 5 years. So the total is a bit over $3. We were discussing a lease to own. There's a lot of different options. But what I wanted to present to the board is, as we've identified, there was ambulance concerns over the winter time. We've got a pandemic, and making sure we have a fleet.
what?
I guess the pandemic is driving this, and also the increasing need for these vehicles. The supply chain is being disrupted, that's a concern for the vehicle. I suppose it's semantics. I mean, if the board authorizes us to go for procurement and put this thing on order, then we would need to amend the budget, and I suppose I'm not too concerned. It's either not a fund balance this year or fund balance next year. It's the same mechanism.
Why don't we pay
She's,
this?
I think she.
Yes. You got something, MJ?
As long as you don't take delivery of the vehicle before the end of the year, you won't be charged to the FY21.
As long as we don't take delivery by the end of the year,
It's not charged to the FY20 budget. All right.
So is that?
Why are we not doing the lease to own thing, which will lessen our financial burden? I think it was $53K per year.
Yes.
Why are we not going that path?
And then if there is any way to get to that, we don't determine
There you
the start on the path.
we all have to say about this.
So the question is, it's not in FY21 budget, and we need to.
It is in the FY21 budget, it's $275 from capital.
We've reflected it in the advertising budget, or is it something we have? Okay.
Oops, sorry. Is that on your list, Cardi?
Yeah, no, it's not on my list. It's on the capital budget I've got sitting here saying EMS ambulance, 229,000 in FY20 budget. I don't have it, I don't show it in the FY21 budget.
Is it in that, did you look at that?
Oh, no, I was.
It's not in the same space this year.
Well, I was looking at the there's 3 three files on the website, the expenditures, the revenue, and the capital. So I'm looking at the capital.
You go to the front page of the website. Go to the front page of the website. Front page.
Under.
That's the general fund budget. The ambulance this year, last year's ambulance was budgeted general fund, and this year was budgeted general. That's the way the number.
Okay, so that 229 right there, that's
That's this year. When there's another ambulance.
that they already got.
We already got one.
Oh,
One that was delivered like, I don't know, 3 months ago. It took them, what, it took almost, what?
oh, the colors, with the pretty colors, yeah.
Y'all like the new file?
I liked it.
No, it looks good.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, Mr. Chairman. I catch up.
It's an ambulance, it's not supposed to be beautiful.
With you.
Just pay attention to the lights. All right, what y'all want to do? If you want to proceed with this, I mean, it looks to me like you've got a lag time of about a year to get this done. About 9 months to a year.
That's how it was on the last one, when we deal with the supply chain. So I'm just looking for a, say, go ahead and start working.
Yeah. This is gonna be
This isn't intended to act as a push towards the volunteers or anything, but we do see, especially currently with this COVID-19 deal, and moving forward. We know we have an aging population here. We know that there will be more medical needs. It's just going to shore the county side up. It's unfortunate that it costs so much. And somebody's not giving the dang things away, but that's what it is.
So it's a good chunk of Cardi's $340,000. But wait, the point you make is good.
It's not good.
Well, it's not good.
I do not
Correct.
like spending that kind of money.
Correct.
That's just what it is. You gotta have equipment. All good on this?
Yeah.
Proceed.
Yeah.
We need a motion, Ms. Hobbs.
Probably a couple things since we happened, we need to go through this procurement. To find some numbers, but I assume that there's some sort of budget adjustment, motion, supplemental or something. So we have some work to do for the board. So if you want to support it, we'll assess it.
All right, we in support in GIS. Everybody in GIS in support so they can proceed and get some procurement and come back to us at another time, and this will be under old business in the future. Everybody good? Everybody's okay? Yes. Moving on. Hot dog. VDOT secondary 6-year road improvement plan for Madison County. Ms. Hobbs, take it away.
This is almost a right of spring where VDOT comes and has a presentation on the secondary roads in the county and what work needs to be done there. Usually when we do this in a two-step process, they'll come and review roads with the board and all that. So they'll do that 1 month and then come back 4 or 6 weeks later and there's a public hearing. With the pandemic, we'd rather not come to meetings and we appreciate that. So the idea this year is that they sent me in advance this year, which they've not done before, a list of roads that they propose to work on in the future. So that's, you're all familiar with this list. So the plan is, if the board's agreeable, is to advertise this as the 6-year plan that would be in front of the board in a public hearing on May 12th. And the idea would be that VDOT would probably be here for a dial-in via telephone that meeting. So when you have questions or when you make adjustments, you can do that in one session and not have to take 2 sessions of VDOT. This hearing procedure is a little bit different than, say, zoning or budget hearings. You can add or remove or change the figures on this after you have the hearing without the full implementation, as I understand. So the idea is to have a hearing, get public input, and then remove and as well discussion. Of course, the money's have to be spent on secondary roads, so. Yeah. This is my attempt to try to.
Why is the desert on here twice?
Spread
The
out.
second part of, isn't it two separate, the connection? Yes, I think it connects. Remember he was telling us about that one?
I mean, it is not a very
Connects-
strong road.
Is it because it connects to Melvin Mary?
No.
I can't remember.
Jackson. It looks new. Kevin, do you know anything about those?
I do not.
Yeah, I can see that.
Traveling that part.
It's two different UPC codes, too. You can ask him that. Anybody got anything they want to add to this list? Don't want to advertise, and everybody can come or call in, that'll go well. We're all excited. I'm excited personally. Everybody else good with this? Got anything you want to change?
Yeah, we need to.
Oh, I know, we could, but,
Always works so well.
Somehow we'd like to change, but we probably can't do.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody okay with this list?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move to hold a public hearing on Madison County Secondary 6-year plan for fiscal years 2021 through 25-26 in Madison County, and on the secondary system construction budget for fiscal year 2021 on May 12th, 2020, as proposed.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded, May 12th, 6-year, road improvement project, hearing. All in favor, if you pose saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Be excited. That's all.
No,
All right. Brian, MJ already brought up to us, we're moving into the Sheriff Department Emergency Communications Security System upgrade. MJ says you need some things. What do you have to tell us about this?
I'm
The next one down.
There you go. Talk to us about the Sheriff Department and emergency communications.
I approached the sheriff back around first of the year about going out and looking at upgrading and replacing what we currently have. Our current access control system is being run off a Windows XP 2003 machine. Very much out of date. If it breaks, we can't fix it. The control panels that run the access control are in the same boat. Everything in there was manufactured between 2001 and 2003. I brought in 3 different vendors and spoke with all 3 of them about the system, and they all agreed that we're not going to say it's impossible to find parts, but it's going to be in a back door somewhere that on Amazon, coming from China or whatever. We have no idea when we'll be able to get them, if we'll be able to get them. But certainly the new technology supersedes what we currently have in that office. Same thing with the closed caption television system. We monitor all 3 holding cells, which is mandated by PCJS. And the perimeter security that we monitor inflow and outflow of the building. It's a 9-camera system. 3 of them are what we call PTZ cameras, which can pan and move and see different angles, so on and so forth. The other 6 are dome cameras that are fixed to just see what we see. The bid that I put out was to replace all 9 cameras, the closed caption TV system with a 40 terabyte storage system and/or cloud system, depending on what the technology was about. We received 3 bids back. The cheapest one, and what we consider the best option, was from Nighthawk Security Systems for $17,200. The next closest bid was on a similar system, was $28,400. And then there's a big dilemma out there if you follow the federal government on security cameras. The federal government is very concerned about hackability and infiltration into these cameras. Now, I've talked with the sheriff about this, and we both agreed that Madison County will be a soft target. What we're trying to accomplish here is a closed caption television system. I don't think we're that much at risk. To go with the higher price systems, one of which was $39,400 and the other one was $27,000. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. The sheriff is in support of the Nighthawk bid. He's already installed that system at the CID system, and we've looked at it, and we don't like this.
Nighthawk's good company.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's also who currently does our fire suppression system. So we're consolidating into one system.
All right, we've done procurement on this. Where's the money gonna come from? Yeah. How much is in contingency currently? Use microphone.
We have about 225,000.
Right.
But I would be pretty careful
Yeah.
about spending. I mean, that's not, given where we are right now, and some of the additional expenditures that we're incurring and not knowing whether we're going to get reimbursed for them or not. I kind of don't want to spend, I mean, the plan is to take out contingency, but.
What's your timeline on this all?
I talked to the Nighthawk reps today. The quote is still good. They have changed a little bit on how they do the access control. But the items that he had concerns about, we were planning to reuse anyway, providing they were still do that. So it should be this one there. So when we ever pull the trigger, we pull the trigger.
What y'all people think? You wanna wait? You wanna go ahead and do it?
I'd say let's do it.
Yeah. It's gonna be any cheaper.
I say we do it.
Yeah. 2003 Windows XP was a good system. And maybe on. So you've been doing.
If that thing crashes, we lose everything. The only saving grace is it's not hooked to the internet, it's not giving me
Good. Makes it better. Fire Russian. All right. Anything else on that? We need a motion on this from Hobbs. Take a
This is
motion.
a matter of procuring it, and we can follow up with budget.
Budget adjustments.
So we'll get some.
Yeah, but it's not something that we call here. It's just a supplemental appropriation.
It's not enough money.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. We're all there. Somebody make up a motion.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move that we allow the Sheriff's Department and Emergency Communications to pursue the security system upgrade.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion is signed. All right, there you go. Courthouse War Memorial Building Security System Upgrades. MJ Ordinator comment that they haven't gotten too far. What comments do you all have about it?
I think they only have one for their process of it.
What's this system going to entail?
The one at the courthouse is to upgrade that system, which hasn't been upgraded since 2009. And it's an inferior system, so we need all the software and stuff to be upgraded. So it's a couple computers and cameras have already been upgraded. Across the street is a totally complete system has to be installed. Over there, they have a monitor that's probably 12 by 12 sitting on the counter with one camera in the back of the courtroom. That's all they have. So they're sitting ducks. They need to have some cameras so where they can get the footage to be.
You're gonna put in a handful of cameras.
We're putting some cameras on the building outside.
There you go.
Inside, motion detectors inside, and panic buttons inside.
Good.
We've got one price. Bruce and I got a price. He's gonna drop an RFQ off of what we've got on the first quote, and then we're gonna send that out to 2 more people to get like systems, which we compare apples to apples. So we should have that in what do you think, Bruce, a couple weeks?
Get that proposed.
Okay.
And also in the courthouse, once that is upgraded, we're gonna be able to tie that into the network so that Roger don't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, drive in with his truck, go into that room and close the doors and unlock the doors. Multiple, they'll be able to do it from the sheriff's office. Just basically puts it, instead of having that physical walk into that room to do it, you can sign up to other folks.
It'll have the capabilities up down the road project to integrate with lines. To be done yet. It's not going to be like this.
You got it. Good. Anything else? Keep us updated.
We're getting a facelift.
Yes, and they'll be able to see it. All right.
Might be able to have your meetings there.
No, we went down that path and we're not going back down that path. We've got a very nice meeting room here. All right. That's that. We've got public hearing at 6. The budget amendments, the tax rates, administrative fees, operating capital budget. Todd, you got anything else we need to address right now? Anybody? I've got more read them. One of them is in all caps. I'm really good. Let's do public comment. If you're on the GoToMeetings, you can type in your public comment, or talk on the phone, or whatever way you want to do it. Public comment is open.